Ladies and gentlemen, welcome yet again to another episode of Musical People and Journeys. And with my wonderful crew, Paul, Simon, William and Trish. Welcome, crew.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. So, what have we got in store for today? Well, look, before we start, if you like what you like, then hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because we are on a holy mission. And that holy mission is not 1,000, not 10,000, not even 100,000, 100. We just want 100, okay? 100, get us there, and we will be happy. We'll be happy. It's a holy, holy rock crusade, people. Get out there, like and subscribe, because then more bands want to talk to us, and then we can bring you amazing content and amazing interviews. How about that? It's a deal, people. Like and subscribe. In the meantime, today, in our battle of the mashup of the bands, we're reviewing 2 amazing albums. Then we're going to decide which one we're going to buy, which one of our hard-earned £20 is going to buy that vinyl or buy that CD, and then we'll rate them, and then we'll decide if they get more than 20, where will they fit in? Will they get to a Hall of Fame? Will they get to the hallowed turf of Hall of Fame, and even to the Album of the Year status? Who knows? Right, what excitement have we got here today for you? Right, well, we have, people. First of all, we have Dark Side of the Moon. No, not Pink Floyd. That's the name of the band. And their album is called Metamorphis. And they are up against the divine, the wonderful Sirenia. Now, is that how you guys would pronounce that?
Sirenia?
Sirenia?
I feel like it's trying to be a play on Siren.
Maybe?
I'd say that as well.
Siren,
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to play off of
Sirenia.
Siren, I think.
Do you know what? That's why you're on this show, Simon. That's why you're on the show. And the album is 1977. Who knows what that means? Maybe one of you could shed light on that. Who knows? Because I don't. Anyway, in the meantime, maybe she was born in 1977. Who knows? Right, okay, starting off then with Dark Side of the Moon, Metamorphoses. Dark Side of the Moon started with a bet between Adidithium singer Melissa Bonney and Hans Platz, the guitarist from
Feuerschwanz.
Ah, see, and that's why
Feuerschwanz.
you are on this show, William. That is with your German knowledge of
They're
bands.
also a great band.
Okay, whoever lost owed the other a dare. Hans won and challenged Melissa to record a metal version of the latest single, Jenny of Old Stones, and the rest is history, exploring the fantastical lives of famous pop culture heroes since their childhood. The multi-talented musicians transform soundtracks of worldwide known movies, TV shows, and video games into powerful metal tracks on their debut album, Metamorphoses. Dark Side of the Moon is a fantastic metal quartet formed by members of, William, name the band.
Names of me.
The band.
Feuerschwanz.
Amaranthe and Ad
Amaranth.
Infidium. Now, there we go. So, am I reading this right? Is it a whole album of covers?
The whole band is covers. The whole album is covers.
I only recognise one. There
We've
we
got,
go.
Yeah.
There's one original track.
Is there one original track?
Pretty
Well,
much, yeah.
why don't we start then with you, Simon? Tell us more.
Did myself in there, didn't I?
You did a bit, but it was wonderfully done.
Which is fantastic, so I'm really not sure what to say about this album. Because I feel slightly tricked after realising that it is mostly a series of covers. So the band sounds fantastic. Really good metallic riffs, really good heavy drumming. The singing's beautiful. But aside from, I think it's The Gates of Time, which is about Zelda, I'm fairly sure everything else is like a cover or like a lyrical cover. So, and I like a good cover. I like covers that twist genres as well. Pop Goes Punk is one of my all-time favourite sort of covers styles. I love those albums. But a whole album of this as a review is a bit much for me when trying to review it all. But that said, I love their sound. The vocals are beautiful. Heavy guitars and drums. I just want them to produce something original in the near future, and I'd love to hear more from them. I assume that this band exists pure because it's their only album, so I'm assuming they're existing purely to make these covers or something, which is a shame because they sound fantastic. So that's me.
Wow. Okay, Paul. What did you think? Tell us more. Did you know, or did you just blindly go in? Because I only recognise the one, but what about you? Or is this a revelation?
Oh, yeah. No, it's not a revelation. Unfortunately, so as you've already pointed out, it started off as a lost bet on Jenny of Old Stones, which was from Game of Thrones, and the band have now gone on and put together an album of reimagined themes and an ode to the biggest fantasy franchise in the world. Imagine the haunting melody of The Hobbit, of the Misty Mountains, where millions of Lord of the Rings fans yearn to join Frodo in his journey to the Lonely Mountain by listening to the haunting melody of Misty Mountains. Even my son sung along to the song in the cinema. Dark Side of the Moon's version would have caused the greatest stampede to the western shores that would have included Frodo himself. He would have made the release of Sauron's army from Mordor look like a queue to the latest Aldi's Pick of the Month offering. Then there is Double Trouble from Harry Potter, which would have had Hedwig himself quaking in his boots about the invitation to Hogwarts. I'd hate to think how long poor Harry would have spent on the toilet after hearing that sort of this sort of song. And so it goes with The Witcher, Legend of Zelda, and so on. Okay, League of Legends, Legend Never Dies is okay. However, most of these songs are just plain perverse parody. The magic of what they represented is completely stripped away and a tragedy inserted in their place, which is a shame, as Melissa has a great voice. And I would, as Simon has pointed out, I would love to hear Dark Side of the Moon in a moment, serious, mature effort.
Trish, wow.
Hello.
I
didn't know it was an album of covers. Just saying. So my opinion is going to be completely off against
for the record,
Paul's.
Me and you totally hoodwinked because didn't get it apart from one.
So the album starts with a slow song accompanied with a beautiful harp playing hauntingly in the background that grows into powerful Legends Never Die, which I thought was a great way to open the album. Then for me, and I know Nigel's going to disagree with me here, I had a goosebump moment with the Misty Mountains duet with Tom England. I love the mix on the album of the past power metal drumming alongside the violins and harps works really well. However, the screamo part, albeit 3 seconds in the Woven Storm, was a bit of a surprise considering how the album had flowed. But all in all, I found it a good power metal album.
Will, now you are. I mean, we're all passionate about Lord of the Rings, mate, but you are Mr. Aficionado here. So, how did? I don't know. Would you? I fancy bringing in the Lord of the Rings Trivia Pursuit for me, you, and Simon, and actually giving it a go and seeing who would be the master.
Easy.
But yeah, come on, tell us.
Easy. So, out of interest, the one song you recognised from this, what one was it?
Misty Mountains.
But what about May It Be, the hit song from Lord of the Rings? The actual Lord of the Rings song on here. So, obviously, I looked at this, and I recognised a good half of them straight off the bat as being covers. So, obviously, you've got Legends Never Die, which was the theme song for the League of Legends Worlds 2017. Misty Mountains, obviously, The Hobbit. Harry Potter, you've got the Woven String from The Witcher. Maybe from Lord of the Rings, the Hanging Tree from Hunger Games, second one, I think. I really like this. I am someone who really, really likes cover songs because for me, it's really magical and just very fun to hear these different takes on existing songs, like seeing how they can add their own sort of flair and sound to it. And that's something I really appreciate, even if it's not the best song. I like that people, go to the effort to actually try and do their own version of these iconic songs. Like, who would think May It Be, the haunting, slow, beautiful song from Lord of the Rings, just adding, fast metal and faster, strong vocals to it. I think it's a fantastic idea. They're all massively talented artists already. You know, their respective bands. I'm a big fan of all three of them. Amaranth, Feuerschwanz, Ad Infinitum, they're brilliant bands. And it's just great that they've come together to do this thing. And they're clearly passionate and they want to actually do good versions of these things. I think it's really good. I like it. Nice. Good songs. Good covers. I think at least they cared to. They wanted to do justice to these songs, and in my opinion, they have. Very good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of covers unless it's a very similar sounding cover. But I do appreciate when bands create something different from the original. And I like Wolven Storm, so the fact I didn't recognise it would mean that it was a completely sort of different cover to what I'd listened to previously. Otherwise, I would have picked up on it. Misty Mountains was a terrible cover. There's no two ways about it. It was awful. But the rest of the album was absolute. It was okay, but it was. I'd rather. There was much better versions out there than what they did. But I appreciate that they tried to do their own thing. But certainly, as far as the rest of the album goes, I didn't pick up on the fact that they were covers, and obviously I know I listened to a lot of albums, so maybe I should have picked up on it. But the fact is that if they were just rip-offs and not doing their own thing, I would have definitely picked up on it. So the fact I didn't would mean that obviously they were doing something different with those songs. Otherwise, I would certainly picked up on things like Wolven Storm and that sort of stuff as well. So. And I think part of that reason was obviously her. Was her obviously her voice. Melissa's voice was extraordinarily good and incredibly hypnotic and incredibly powerful. So it was fantastic. And then, however, it was ruined by the growlo and the satanic kind of trying to be evil voice singing and I went, oh, but it was only for a short period, but it wasn't. It was actually 6 lines, and that was 4 too many. So that kind of lost it for me a little bit as well. So I don't like satanic singing. The rest of the album, apart from Misty Mountains, which was not a great cover, the rest of the album was good, thoroughly enjoyable, great musicianship. I mean, all right, it was covers, but until I read that, which my wonderful Trish had prepared for me. Oh, I tell you, it's really difficult, isn't it, to do homework to that extent, I suppose. But I enjoyed the album overall. I thought it was okay. Right, well, how does that compare to our Sirenia? 1977. Who is Sirenia? We'll call her Sirenia then, we like that. It's a Norwegian gothic metal band from Stavanger, founded in 2001 by Morten Veland. The band uses melodic instruments, synthesizers and distorted guitars with female vocals. Male death vocals, clean male vocals, a choir and violins. The lyrics are concerned with human existence, emotion and mental states. Members: Morten Veland, Emanuela Zoldan, Nils Carboran and Michael Brush. Thank God for the last name. There we go. Let's well, Paul, let's start with you then. Let's go along. Let's just go along. We'll make our way around this. Sirenia, or whatever her name is. 1970.
Sirenia, yes.
We'll go Sirenia.
So, after 20 years, Sirenia's founding member, excuse me, Martins Veland, has produced the 11th studio album named after his date of birth. The band started off as a sinister goth band, as you mentioned, so it's little wonder of the continual rotation of band members. For this latest album, the band's and band incarnation, Veland has turned to 70s and 80s synth-infused pop for inspiration, creating tragic lyrics with upbeat melodies that the likes of ABBA and Blondie would have been proud of if they hadn't written their own songs in the first place, with a gothic melodic symphonic twist. Unfortunately, 1977 sounds like a Eurovision Song of Songs album. As an end, I'm sure the UK would do reasonably well with any of these songs as an entry. Having said that, the album is not bloated and simply races along. However, for me, try as I might, I cannot remember what I'd listened to after 5 minutes due to the genericness of the songs. I mean, the set in Darkness sounds like an opening tune from an ABBA song. The songster has a great voice. Some of the music is inspiring. It's just instantly forgettable. Also, the bonus track, a cover of Tanata Takaram's "Twist of My Sobriety," lacks the emotional intent portrayed in the original.
Trish, is that true?
God,
Did it lack that?
absolutely not. Okay. 1977. Enchanting, captivating opener, Deadlight had me hooked from the outset. The album has an 80s/90s vibe, personally to me, with relentless drums and symphonic electronic elements that go hand in hand with another, which, as we all know, I love. All the songs flowed well from one to the other. Even with the cover of "Twisting My Sobriety" is a song that I loved when I was a teenager back in 1988, released by Tanita Tikaram. The song has a very melancholic vibe to it. My only criticism of the album is we saw glimpses of the lead singer's operatic vocals that could be pushed just a little bit more to even higher notes, which I've no doubt that can be done. It just felt it was being held back from really letting go, but that is only my opinion, and different ears hear different things. All I know is if Sirenia is a place, then this rock chick is heading off there to indulge her sweet spot.
That's right. William!
Hello!
Hello!
I'm here to ruin everyone's day of a fun fact. I just had a realization that Sirenia, I've worked out what it is. They're sea cows. Sirenia is the actual name for sea cows because people thought they were sirens back in the Renaissance times when they sailed. So this band is named after the humble sea cow. You're welcome.
Mystery solved.
Sirenia, the sea cow band.
They didn't know that when they the band, but there we go.
And much like the humble sea cow, this was a truly beautiful album.
The sea cow is a truly beautiful animal.
A beautiful crowd of people mistook them for sirens back in the day. Clearly there must be something good about them.
There must be.
I've dug myself in a hole now. I forgot what I was going to say.
No, mate. Keep going with the sea cow, my friend. I know I'm getting for your
no,
we're heading off with beautiful.
The analogy I was trying to go for was much like them. Her voice is fantastic. It is the voice you'd imagine a siren would have. You're sailing along in the age of Greek antiquity, and you hear this haunting, beautiful voice on the horizon. This is a fantastic album. I really enjoyed it. Obviously I didn't have any association with the bonus track and the original song for it, so for me that was just another song which I really enjoyed. But even without that one, this was a beautiful album. I thought all the components worked really well together. The music, the guitars really complemented her vocals. Like Trish said, I felt her voice could have done more, but I think even as it is, this is a beautifully solid album, and it's a pleasure listening to this. And I'm definitely going to be listening to this more and going back through the back catalogue to see what else I've got. This is a very, very beautiful album.
Simon, now let's talk about your passion for sea cows.
I never thought this day would come.
We know you have an encyclopedia on sea cows. But
what have I done?
Yeah, no, this is your fault. So my soundbite for the album is that to me it sounds like early Nightwish mixed with synthwave, and I like it. But I do want to take a moment here, because when reviewing and listening to media like music, I think it's important to take into account when and how that music is consumed. So the first time you listen to an album is on some tinny earbuds walking around town. You can have a different impression to listening to something late at night at home on a surround sound system. And with that, I also think the time of year is important as well. which, as I'm labouring towards here, is that if I'd been listening to this album in the cold depths of late December, then I think the album would have had a bit more impact on me. Instead, I'm walking around staring at a crowded beach, sangria in my toes and topping up my Factor FD 50 FPF sunscreen. So the album just doesn't resonate as much, I didn't think, like, just because of the time of year. I know it sounds very strange, but
you've got to. If you're winding the window down in a car, sometimes you're playing bang to the wall rock. I mean, and you're in that mood, the sun shining. Mood definitely affects your listening pleasure without any shadow of a doubt whatsoever. Paul was obviously in a bad place. He was probably on that beach with sangria between his toes, did you say? Topping up his sun factor, which is probably why he didn't hear what Will heard. There we go.
Which is my point, which is the time of year just doesn't resonate very well with sort of operatic gothic metal. But I did enjoy the album. Wintry Heart has made its way into my favourites playlist. I really love that track. But honestly, I want to re-listen to them in like 6 months' time when I'm cowering away from the sunlight and trying to stay warm under a blanket in winter. Because I think I can enjoy a lot of what they do a lot more in that way. I really enjoyed it overall.
As you know, my favourite album last year was Visions of Atlantis, and you can't help but make some comparisons here, really, in terms of the tone, the pitch. Maybe not quite on theme as to that as well, but I love this album. I love the voice. I thought it was fantastic. Nomadic. The Set in Darkness. I don't care, Paul, if you think that's got a bit of ABBA to it. I never heard that. And 1,000 Scars, all made to my playlist. Love it. Absolutely fantastic album. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Highlight of my month, I think, by a long way. An album that I kept going back to. And I think because of Visions of Atlantis, I enjoyed it more. Her voice is up there with Dave, definitely up there. And you're right. Maybe I didn't think she could push it. I think they pitched it absolutely perfect and wonderfully. No growlo, no satanic voices to be even darkened my shadow of this album. Absolutely terrific. Really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Bring on more, please. Bring on more. They added to my favourite band, one of my favourite bands of the year. So, but there we go. Terrific. Love the album. It's really good. A quick question, by the way. On we're obviously up against with the Dark Side. Where was New Horizons from then? Because that was my favourite track, and that added to my playlist. So, what's New Horizons? What was that from?
I honestly don't know, but I just thought it'd be funny to say it was Animal Crossing because that was the name of the last game. It's definitely nothing to do with Animal Crossing, but I think it's fun.
So, what do you mean? So,
about it.
Is that because you'll be dodging the sea cows on Animal Crossing then? Something. There we go.
Oh, not dodging them, actually going towards them.
Hey, right, there we go. Okay, let's find out who is going to be our winner today. Which will we spend our money? Will anybody reach the hallowed Hall of Fame? Let's find out, shall we then? Simon, we started with you. Dark Side.
3.5.
3.5. Paul.
1.5.
Trish.
3.5.
I
William.
think I actually gave it a 5. I really liked it.
Whoa!
It was cool.
William? A 5?
I genuinely really like covers. It's like, I have a whole playlist on my Spotify of just metal covers of popular songs and things, so this is my cup of tea right here.
So I rated it as a 4, and it lost half a point for the cover and half a point for satanic kind of voices. I kind of want it to go less, but I stick to my original one because it fooled me, which I give it a 4. Mm-hmm. So there we go. So okay, we got 7.5, 12.5, 16, 17.5. Didn't reach those hollered howls, but still a good halls even Hall of Fame. But still a good score. That's solid. That is a good. That's it's going to be a good album. Listen to it. Okay, Sea Cows. Let's have some votes for them, shall we? Simon.
Oh, me again. Go on. Let's give it a good old 4.
4. Paul.
2.
You were in a dark place. You were definitely on the beach.
I was never a fan of sea cows.
Trish.
4.5.
4.5. William.
4.5 sea cows out of 5.
Yay! Well, no shock here. 5. 5 from me. Love the album. Definitely love the album. So 9, 14, 18, 20. Creeps in. I'm going to check those again. Yep, 20. Just literally creeps into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that one. But there we go. Right. Well, so anyway, before we leave, let's uncover the mystery. Simon, sangria in your toes.
Yeah, you're missing your mouth when you're drinking it, love.
Yeah. No, completely.
Is that what he means?
Maybe he meant sand in between his toes, and it sounded like
that's what I meant.
sangria.
Not sangria. I was going to go like, you got a pint of sangria in your toes and like you just lift it up with your like.
Yeah, just.
So there we go. All right, well that's that mystery solved. You went sand in your toes from that perspective. Okay, cool stuff. And we obviously have to touch on download. You have the download T-shirt on. You were the only one that could afford or would scrub up camping for the weekend. How was it?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic festival. Absolutely amazing. Very good fun.
Once you got there.
Fun. Yeah, once we got after 12 hours of travelling 4 miles. Yeah,
I can imagine. And highlight for you.
It was probably Bring Me the Horizon. Electric Callboy were amazing, don't get me wrong. Hour and a half, their full Techno Train tour set. But yeah, no, Bring Me the Horizon's headline act was absolutely superb.
Cool. Right. Okay. Right. Well, we are saying to you in the show, go and spend your money on sea cows, and congratulations. Well, mate, you would spend your money on sea cows. Only Jess.
Yeah,
I mean, you might give
if
it away.
both of them were in the bargain bin, I'd pick the sea cows over the other one.
Absolutely, but you would still buy it. You'd still be.
I remember bargain bins.
Yeah, I'd give it to you then, Nigel, as well.
Oh, mate,
So,
here
we go.
You were definitely in a dark place.
I've listened to it several times and I've totally forgotten what it was about.
Wow. Brilliant album. Right, okay, cool stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Get us up there to the Magic 100. We will be eternally grateful. And thank you very much. And keep on rocking out there and keep safe. Goodbye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.